A very good morning, children. Welcome back to Standard 4 Social Studies class. Today we are going to start a new lesson, and the name of the lesson is Major Landforms. When you look around, you must have realized that the surface of the earth is not even or regular everywhere. It has several landforms. Somewhere it is high and we have mountains, somewhere it is very flat and we have plateaus, then we have rivers, we have fertile plains, and we have some very sandy areas which are called deserts. So the landform of our earth can vary, and there are four major kinds of landforms which we are going to learn today. They are mountains, plateaus, plains, and deserts. We begin with mountains. A mountain is a high landmass with sharply sloping surfaces. It is considerably higher than the surrounding areas. There is seldom a single mountain. We will not see a single mountain standing alone. Usually mountains, they can be found in chains or ranges. Many mountains standing side by side together, and these they extend over hundreds of kilometers. The Pamir and the Himalayan ranges in Asia, the Alpine mountain ranges in Europe, the Rockies in North America, these are some of the important mountain ranges of the world. Now here you can see the picture of a mountain range. We can say 1, 2, 3, 4 mountains can be seen here, and you can see that they have different peaks and the surface is very sloping, and the mountains they differ in shapes and height. Very young mountains like the Himalayas are very high and pointed, and the one which you see here in the picture, that is similar to Himalayas and covered with snow too. Then we have old mountains like the Aravalli in India, which have rounded tops and they are not very high, and this is mainly because of erosion, which is the action of wind and water makes these mountains lower in height. They erode or they cause the tops to become rounded because of the action of wind and water for many years. The next landform we move to is plateaus. A plateau is a broad and more or less level stretch of upland that rises above the neighboring lowland. You can imagine a plateau to be similar to a table, and so it is also called a tableland. But like a table top, the surface of a plateau is not always smooth. It is generally rugged and rocky. It can be very uneven but not as high like a mountain, but it can be uneven. The Deccan Plateau in India extends over thousands of kilometers, and the Tibetan Plateau is the highest in the world. It is therefore called the roof of the world. There are large plateaus in Africa, Australia, Asia, North America, and South America. These are different continents you have learnt about in the previous chapter. So the plateau land is generally rich in mineral deposits. And do you know that Jharkhand is also situated on the Chota Nagpur plateau, and Jharkhand is also very rich in mineral deposits, especially in coal, iron ore, mica. We are the leaders in these mineral deposits. And like the mountain regions, life in the plateau region is also very hard. It is not easy, and I am sure you will guess the reason. The reason is that the land is not smooth. It is high, and so it is difficult to lay roads, railways, and make canals here. As such, these areas are not very populated. Mountain areas are difficult to live in, and lesser number of people live there as compared to plains. You can see the picture of a plateau here. As you can see, this is also highland, but it is flat. It is not like a mountain. It is not pointed like a mountain, but it is flat like a tabletop. The third landform you'll learn about is plains. A relatively flat and low lying vast expanse of land is called a plain. A very vast area of land which is flat and low lying, not very high. It is called plains. While some plains are extremely level, others may be rolling or undulating. They may not be very plain everywhere, somewhere they may be little uneven. But most of these plains are formed by major rivers and their branches or tributaries, which have been bringing and depositing silt, stones, and sand along their courses for ages together. And these silt, they make the land very fertile. The great northern plain of India is formed by the deposits brought by the river Ganga and her tributaries. The Huanghe plain in China and the Nile Valley plain in Egypt are also some major river plains all around the world. And of all the landforms, plains are most suitable for human habitation. It is the most populated, hence, because life is easier to live in a plain region. And moreover, these land plains are very fertile because they are formed by river deposits. So people living here, they cultivate the land, they grow crops, and life is easier, so it is thickly populated in plains. You can see the picture of a plain here. It is very flat, it is very fertile, so people grow crops in a plain land. The fourth kind of landform we will learn about today is desert. A desert is a barren area of land where little rainfall occurs. Barren means it does not have trees. You hardly find any trees in the desert area. What do you find mostly? It is mostly sandy. So it is very hard for plants and animal life to exist in the desert. About 1/3 of the land surface of the world is desert. Can you imagine? One out of the whole surface of the earth, 1/3 is occupied by desert. This includes much of the polar region where we have ice deserts. These are known as cold deserts. Large variation of temperature between day and night is felt in the desert areas. Daytime it is very hot and night time it becomes very cold. The Great Indian Desert or the Thar desert is located in the western Rajasthan. So you must have learnt about Thar desert, and it is located in West Rajasthan. You can see the picture of a desert, and what can you see? We can see barren land, no trees, and mostly we can see sand and only sand all around. And it is very hot during daytime, and night it becomes cold. And in the desert there are some places where underground water comes to the surface and it forms pools of water. These places have date, palm, kikar, and babool trees. Date palm you must have seen. If you have seen pictures of desert, you will see these trees. And when there is a picture of desert which I am going to show you next, it is in your book, and you can see the picture of desert palm in that too. Such a fertile place in a desert is called an oasis. So what is an oasis? An oasis is a fertile place in a desert where underground water comes to the surface to form pools. Most of the villages come up around such oases. So where do people live in desert? They live around this fertile plain, fertile area where water is found. People can grow crops like jawar and bajra around an oasis. And this is a picture of an oasis. You can see water can be seen, plantation can be seen, and some houses can also be seen here. So with this we come to the end of the four major landforms, and you can see the picture of an oasis, and there is a list of 10 largest desert in the world given in your book. And the first one I'll read for you. Rank 1 is Antarctic desert in Antarctica, and second comes Arctic desert in Arctic, and the Sahara desert in Africa is the largest desert. Then in the list we have Arabian desert, Gobi desert, Kalahari desert, Great Victoria desert, Patagonian desert, Syrian desert, and the Great Basin desert of North America. So you can learn this to strengthen your GK again, and we move to the exercises now. So we will quickly do the exercises too. You have learned the lesson, you have seen the lesson, so I am sure you will be able to find the answers now. Number 1, tick the correct answer. The alpine mountain ranges are situated in Europe. Number 2, plateaus are also called tableland. Number 3, which is the highest plateau in the world? And the answer is Tibet. Number 4, a relatively flat and low-lying vast expanse of land is called a plain. And number 5, which of the following is the most fertile? And the answer is plain. We move to match the following. We'll match Huanghe Plain with China, the Alps with Yang Mountain, Syrian Desert with Middle East, Great Basin Desert with North America, and Kalahari Desert with Africa. So the numbers will be 2, 4, 1, 5, 3 when you match. Next we move to fill in the blanks. Choose the correct word from the box and put in the blank. Number 1, polar region has cold deserts. Number 2, large variation of desert between day and night is felt in the desert areas. As you have learnt, the days are very hot and the nights are cold, very cold. Gobi Desert is in Asia. Rockies mountain ranges are located in North America. And the Great Northern Plain of India is formed by the deposits brought by the river Ganga and her tributaries. And now we move on to write T for true and F for false statements. But like we have been doing, we will write true and false. And students, even in exam, whenever we have test or examination, I do not want to see anyone writing T or F. You will be writing TRUE true and FALSE false. True for the correct statements and false for the incorrect statements. And we will also here in the book we are going to correct the incorrect statements. So number 1, in summers the days are very hot in deserts. It is true. People can grow crops of jowar and bajra around oases. That is also true. It is the fertile land in desert. Tibetan plateau is the highest plateau in the world. It is also true, and it is called the roof of the world. Nile Valley Plain is situated in Brazil. This answer is wrong, so we will write there false and we will correct it. Brazil will become Egypt. Mountains differ in shapes and heights. That is also true. The younger mountains, they are higher and they have sharper curves. They have sharper peaks, whereas the older mountains, they have rounded tops and they are lower in height. And why is it so? It is so because of the action of wind and water over many years, over ages. So this process is called erosion. So I am sure you must have understood the lesson, and I am also sure that you must have marked the correct answer. And if you have not done so, look at the video tutorial carefully, take out your book, take out your pencil, and please write the correct answers in the book. And if you have done, you will correct your answers. Okay? So I hope you must have enjoyed this lesson. All these things you see around you, and it is easy for you to understand. because you have seen a mountain, you have seen rivers, you have seen plains, you have seen plateaus, and you must have seen desert. Actually, you must have seen, or you might have seen in pictures. So with this, we come to the end of today's video tutorial. Keep learning, keep smiling, and keep safe. We'll be meeting again with a new lesson.